Hey everybody, Kara Castronova here in front of the White House outside. The Polish president is meeting with Trump. Right now they're having lunch and I ran into Mike Lindell
Hello, everybody.
here in DC doing important business, Mike.
Right on. Absolutely. We're going to have a great meeting with the president this afternoon. What do you think we're going to talk about? Maybe elections, platforms, and I actually have a new one too. We're going to be talking about the fentanyl problem the country has, and I think I've got a great solution was brought to me by people about 3 months ago. And so I'm going to run that by him. That's, he brought that up even, I think it was last week, that fentanyl awareness, what they're all doing. So I know that'll be part of our conversation.
A good person talk. Let's walk and talk. A good person, I think, to talk about that would be Robert Kennedy Jr. If you could ever get a meeting with him, because he's a former drug addict, and I know he feels strongly about getting rid of fentanyl.
Absolutely. And that'll be I always start with my friend, the president, and then we'll work that way and see if this is a fit with him, but I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's important to so many people. A lot of people I know, including myself, have lost people to fentanyl.
Yes, it's been horrible. And the way the fentanyl is now they have another version I think it's 1,000 times more powerful, or 500 times more powerful. It's like playing Russian roulette with any time you're out doing drugs. And, me being a former crack addict and stuff and cocaine addict, I remember my friends and I would get into conversations after the bars would close, and I said, what do you think we'd all do if we knew there was poison cocaine out there or poison drugs out there? Do you think we'd still do them? Well, I proved that because I was in Mexico, and I actually, if you read my book, I took the poison. It was poison, and I went and did it again, even though I knew it was poison, because there's it's so addict mentality. So very sad.
It is sad. So I hope that you make some progress. But speaking to the president about that today, and obviously the most important thing, which is saving our elections, especially before the midterms. Hopefully the president will find a way to do that executive order, or at least a proclamation, which is not an executive order, but almost as good as an executive order. And I've gone out and spoken to various Americans outside of the White House and non-Americans, asking them about voting and if they believe mail-in ballots should be banned. And a lot of them do, and some of them don't. And somebody from England told me something interesting. I don't know if you know about this. They are trying to do online voting there over the internet. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, well, we beat them to it, everybody. We're doing that actually with our UACAVA votes. Obama put this in where you can email your vote in. We had 2 states where in 2 different counties they did it where you could text your vote in. It's disgusting. So this has already been done. And obviously, it's the worst thing you could ever imagine. You talk about, we need to get rid of the voting machines. There can be nothing more secure than paper ballots, hand count. Remember, over 100 countries have gotten rid of mail-in voting, early voting. 132 countries have gotten rid of the electronic voting machines. We have the worst election platforms in the history here. If I had my druthers, I'd tell the president and say, hey, declare a national emergency. Obama deemed our elections critical infrastructure. We have all the stuff that's pouring out of Tulsi Gabbard's office and all the evidence we've had of all these elections being computer manipulated, we are in a state of emergency. And it has to change before the midterms, and not just the midterms, the primaries in the midterms. Right. This is where it's at. This is where you can have your country stolen. You don't even know it. It's without firing a shot. That's what they've been wanting to do to us for a long time.
That's a good point that you make regarding the primaries, because a lot of, as you mentioned yesterday, Republicans are down with the mail-in ballots. And as you know, my experience with the Republican Party in some states is that they're just as corrupt as the Democrat Party.
Well, they're worse. I could say that the blockers are worse. And when I say worse, when I'm talking about blockers, which that's been our experience. I'm not talking about the Republican. I'm talking about the Republican blockers, and I could name them. Like when they do stuff that doesn't make sense, like the Secretary of State of Alabama right now, the Secretary of State of Louisiana. You got our old original blocker, Brad Rassenberger, the Secretary of State of Georgia. These red states. You should be able to go into your South Dakotas of the world and your Missouris and your Arkansas and Alabamas and get the best election systems put in history. But no, we get blocked at every turn. Arkansas, Governor Sarah Sanders, it's disgusting. The stuff that's went on there. I could tell you every state and how we have a problem with every single state. with our election platforms. And the biggest blockers that surprised me of all the stuff that I've done.
You want to talk?
Of all the
Hey,
stuff,
how are you? Would you like to be interviewed?
of all the stuff that I've
I think
talked,
they recognized you, Mike, for all your great work.
of all the stuff that I've talked about, though, the biggest surprise I've had is bar none, that the Republicans, the blocker Republicans, the uniparty blocker Republicans.
Quick question. They're haters. They're psycho leftists, which we
I
find.
like talking to them too. I mean, you got to hear it from every side. You know, when I walked here yesterday, I've been here in D.C. for 2 days. I walked here yesterday. It was actually the first time. Usually people come out want pictures and stuff, and they did. But there was people that came right up to me and angry, just angry, going, you know. I said, you know, I'm going to pray for you. I would tell them, and they go, this guy was so angry. Then he fell. I'm helping him. I'm going, you know, he just fell because he was so in my face with a sign, and I ask him why, you know, why, and they don't have an answer. They really don't have an answer.
They don't have an answer. They're
I
deranged.
want to get rid of electronic voting machines. I mean, no, no.
This person, they have these new. Oh, she's a Trump 2024. 20 tie. Trump 2028. Why do you think Trump should come into Trump 2028?
Why shouldn't they? Let me get the cookie off my mouth.
Do you know My Pillow? Do you have my Pillow?
I do. And I haven't ever met you before, Mike, but I do need. Hold on.
So we have a nice person here in DC, which we
There's a lot of nice people here in D.C.
How are
Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
So why do I think Eric Trump will be elected? And
So Eric Trump.
I think that that's a great idea. Yeah.
That's really smart. I never heard Eric, but that would be great. Most people are saying President Trump, which I, wouldn't be opposed to. But what do you think about Mike? He's here today to meet with the president, talk about getting rid of mail-in ballots. Do you think we should do that?
I do think that because there's a lot of fraud. If somebody has had their ID stolen, they can always mail in a ballot.
Right.
That's not theirs, really. But I also think that they should not only have picture ID, that they should have a thumbprint or fingerprint on it to validate
They've done
that.
that in a lot of other countries. They've done that in a lot of other countries. But, what do you think? My great idea. We're going to recycle and melt down the electronic voting machines and turn them into prison bars. You think that's a good idea?
I don't know. Are they still?
We'll recycle. We'll use the plastics to make those little plastic trays you have in the jails and prison to serve your dinners on.
All those criminals that stole the election. But thank you so much for taking the time. And yes, Trump 2028, Eric Trump. He's a smart guy. God bless you.
Y'all be well. Hey,
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, bro.
when you go down there, you'll see the Palestinians down there. You know they're a bunch of liars,
I
right?
know. Well, I'm sure they're gonna harass us, but we're used to that on a daily basis. Generally, when I go down, people will yell at me, especially when they realize I'm from Lindell TV. But Mike is able to handle them very easily.
I've got to go back down there. So if I was actually going to go over to the coffee shop, but if you're going to go down
Yeah,
there,
we'll go down there and we'll talk to them. We'll see. It just depends on which ones. I come out here every day, so there's some.
guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, we told him we were going to give him a pillow to kind of placate him. We told him we're going to give him his pillow so he could sit on it. Maybe it'll give him good dreams and he'll actually start thinking good thoughts. That was my kind of reasoning.
Yeah, you're referring to Felicios, the guy in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah, who sits there? Yeah. Well, we're going to take a walk down there. And we were talking to Mike. I really wanted to get a suggestion, not a suggestion, but just some more education for the audience on what Venezuela has to do with the elections, because I know a lot of things are going on with Venezuela, and that's on the top of the president's mind, having to do yesterday. Or there was an attack, actually not attack. The U.S. was defending itself with that ship in Venezuela that was bringing in fentanyl.
Yeah.
What does Venezuela have to do?
It all goes back to Venezuela. Here, just stop a second. So because I can't walk and talk for a second. This is too important. It all goes back to Venezuela. Back in January of 21, I got calls from the Venezuela underground. Citizens were there and they go, Mike, don't ever give up. They were bawling, crying on the phone, saying our country got taken with the voting machine in the early 2000s. And by then, Sidney Powell and others had done so much research and it tied it all back to Venezuela and your Smartmatics and your Dominions of the world. But remember, all voting machines, doesn't matter the brand, have to go, whether it's ES&S, Hart, they all have to go. This is just like that. You go back to the genesis of this, and it even goes further back than that. But Venezuela was in my mind, the first big country that they took without firing a shot. And they've had to live this. And their prayers were that someday it would happen to the U.S. because we would not stand for it. And we would all it would all be opened up and everything revealed. And that's what's happened over the last 4.5 years. I am so glad that with their investigation and stuff, it's going right back to Venezuela, which people knew how to know. Remember, a lot of companies got sued because they said there were posts on there talking about Venezuela back in November and December of 2020. We won't say who they are, but that rhymes with Fox and Newsmax.
Well, the bottom line is, the president, I'm sure, is aware of all these things, that maybe even more reason for him to deem Venezuela a terrorist organization.
Right on, right on.
The president is probably aware of this, and I said that would give him more reason to name them a terrorist organization because of their hand in the stolen election.
What's that? Say it again.
What do you think, President Trump? Obviously, he's aware of this, and this would give him more reason to go against Venezuela. He's calling them a terrorist organization, but more so because of the election stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, one thing about our great president is he takes it all in. He takes in all the information he's been taking in for 4.5 years, even longer. And he makes these great decisions. Everyone goes, how is he out in front of everything? Because he is a vacuum cleaner of information. He sits in a room and pulls, what do you think? What do you think? Then he makes decision. He's got a gift from God, problem, solution, and what will it manifest to? Ready, everybody? To help all people, not just a liberal, a conservative, a Democrat, or Republican, to help the people. That's what politicians were supposed to be there for, and that's what we've gotten away with. Right. The great divider, Obama was the great divider. Donald Trump is the great uniter. And you know what I've always said to him? I say it to him all the time. I'll say it to him again today. I'll say, sir, Mr. President, everybody loves you. Some just don't know it yet.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So let's find some people to talk to about election integrity and how important that is. This must be the Epstein hearing. That's the Epstein hearing going on at Congress right now. We'll go talk to him when he's done talking to that person. Generally, he's been very nice. Do you see any protesters out here today? They must all be at the Epstein thing. So
there was a bunch over there yesterday, but
generally, I guarantee they're at Congress with the Epstein hearing right now. So there's not a lot.
Back to my hotel. When I walked back to my hotel yesterday, it's a long way around now, and it was about 10 good to one that was upset, and it used, I kept saying, do you sleep on a bad pillow? You need a my pillow. And I offered to pray for him. There was about 2 of them like that.
Let's talk to some of these other people. We'll have a conversation. Hey, how are you? Let's see if there's anyone we could stop that will actually stop. Hey guys, where are you from?
Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Do you believe in mail-in ballots, or do you think that they should ban them?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just here to see the White House.
You're apolitical?
Apolitical.
Do you believe in mail-in ballots?
No, I don't.
How come?
Well, it could be too easy to cheat on them.
Right.
You're from Louisiana? What do you think of your Secretary of State down there wanting to buy more voting machines and add to the pile the problems that already exist?
They're
buying more machines. Do you believe the machines need to go?
They're buying more machines.
Yeah.
Voting machines. Do you believe that voting machines have fair elections?
Voting machines?
The voting machines. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, you're okay with them. Here, go ahead.
So,
checking with the Louisiana.
So there's some problems with the voting machines that we've discovered, just so you know.
Right.
Mike Lindell has been fighting for a long time. He's meeting actually today with some people at the White House.
We got these people up here. They working to prevent all that.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we're working hard. Our president is to
What I
get
can do.
right.
I mean,
Our president is working hard. Like 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines and banned mail-in voting, and we want we have the most unsecure elections in the history of the planet, and so we're trying to get to paper ballots, hand counted, like it used to be.
I'm for free elections and voting.
Thank you. God bless you. Okay, let's see if we could find anybody else. Hi, ladies. How are you? Where are you from? We could go talk to the man in the wheelchair. I think he's pretty nice. He's always nice to me. Well, he knows who you are. He's a protester that's out here every single day.
So what's he protesting?
He's a more or less an anti-war protester, but he's considered a leftist. But I've made inroads with him and told him I would bring him a pillow so he has good dreams at night, and maybe he'll think better thoughts.
Hello, hello.
So, would you like to go talk to him? And it seems like he's with one of those Trump haters because it says fascist on his hat. So maybe we could.
What flag is that?
That's the Palestinian flag.
I think we should keep it to elections today.
Well, I think the guy that says resist might be a good. I know that guy with the blue hat on, and we could talk to him about elections because I guarantee he's for mail-in ballots.
Okay.
I know these
What do you wanna
people.
do?
Let's go ask him. But we'll see. We could talk to him about elections. Maybe he'll agree with us. We'll say we don't want to talk about any geopolitical things. We want to talk. No, it's not going to pick it up. This is a good mic. When they're done, we'll wait for them to talk. Oh, hi, how are you? We noticed you from across the way, but I wanted to introduce you to Mike Lindell because I promised you.
Okay, hey, it's a pillow guy.
I told him that you're pretty cool, and a lot of people, have said things about you. But I think you're a nice guy, and
I love.
we don't want to talk about it. Mike is here
Oh, I'll talk about anything with him, but
with the mail-in ballots is his big thing.
well, then your mail-in ballots is the way that our military abroad has voted since the beginning of time. And what you're whispering to him, that doesn't matter to me because this is a fact that I'm going to say. It's always been legal to have mail-in ballots until 2020. Also that
He's right on that. Let me see.
Right.
You are right. In 2020, they put them all in illegally. Most of the states did, and only 13 of them went back to where they were legal.
Mr. Lindell, be careful about using the word all and then say legally. Make sure that you stay, because I see that on your lapel. I do see that on the lapel.
There is one state where where Attorney General Ken Paxton fought, and the state of Texas did win all 12 cases. So the Attorney General, he was the only Attorney General that fought to stop all that stuff from coming in.
Well, we can go into the legal practice of stopping the count at 5 p.m. That happened in Florida, which that Trump ended up winning because they didn't count all the counts until the post office closed at 11:59 and 59 seconds, which would have been a lot of in-person people voting too, and their mail, as long as the mail gets postmarked by 12 a.m., which is legally really 11:59 and 59 seconds, then they're supposed to be counted. So the legal practice of the state of Florida also comes into place.
Right. So what do you? I'm not.
No, there were so many deviations and anomalies, right? And and hopefully we get to over 100 countries have banned mail-in early voting. Over 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. So I'm here trying to get our country to have secure elections for all people. Do you agree? We need to have secure elections. It all comes from our elections, right?
So I guess could we agree that
That was a question to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? On that one, I can't disagree. There is no buts to it. We need secure elections, but we can't have where in New Hampshire there was a complete district where, and I didn't vote for her, Kamala Harris got 0 votes. In a complete district. Come on, not one vote. So we know the machine is broken for both sides, even though I
Right.
didn't vote for that D.
Right. That's exactly right. And that's like I've been saying all along. In Georgia, three Democrats ran, and this gal, her name is Brenda, she got 0 votes in her own precinct, and her husband and her daughter lived there. They voted for her. 0. If they'd have gave her 3 votes, they'd have said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, nobody loves you but your family." But they had to look into it because it was 0. And this is what we're talking about. I don't care if it's a machine glitch or someone cheated or whatever. They've got to go because we have to have secure elections.
Okay, so I'll ask you one question on that. So you believe that it is something that happens to both sides of the aisle?
100%. I've been fighting for this in Kansas. See, my teams are all over the country. I have over 300,000 people in all 50 states. I fight. I have more pushback for uniparty Republicans that stop the work we're doing than all of them put together. In Kansas, in the 2022 election, I was getting reports from my teams that all the Democrat votes were flipping to Republicans in real time. We have videos of it. This goes both ways. This is a crime against the people, all of us as a people. You know, when you have politicians that don't want to fix this, and I'm talking about these uniparty Republicans like crooked Brad Rassenberger down in Georgia. If these guys don't want to fix this, why? That doesn't make sense. And you got to wonder, there's a hidden agenda. It's a very evil agenda, or it's a self-serving agenda. And that's the problem I have. My whole thing is to secure our election. I'm okay with who wins, but you better have a fair election. Do you agree?
Yeah, I already said that. But I want this one to go viral, hugely viral, because they're seeing that from your own mouth that you're saying there are crooked Republicans, and I want that to keep on being. Son, you gotta remember. You gotta remember. Wait, put the mic over here again. You have to remember. There's going to be some people that are left and left center seeing this that may not have looked into it, but they're going to see my mug. Now they're going to see my mug, and they're going to see that you're calling out crooked Republicans as well as crooked Democrats.
Uniparty. We have two. We have the uniparty has people from both sides. These uniparty Republicans, and who took? You know, I want to say who taken our country back in the day was uniparty Republicans, globalists, deep state. This is where we're at. So, anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were talking about this on the way here, how the Republican primary we're very concerned about with the machines and with the mail-ins. So that's something we're concerned about.
Sure. I mean, one thing I've always said about the Democrats, like I already told you, I didn't vote for that D. So, one thing I'm concerned about the Democrats is how dare they have super delegates in their primaries. I don't think that any delegate is worthy of having any amount of power more than anybody else that lives in the United States of America. So super delegates have to go, and then that way, Hillary Clinton would not have been the nominee. It actually would have been Bernie Sanders.
Right. We all agree that Hillary cheated with the super delegates. But thank you so much.
Cat than people actually say.
That's it.
But why not? But believe me, it's my job to keep my eye on you. All right, dude.
And we're gonna. Oh, I have that pillow for you. I swear it's in a bag. I just can't. It's a great pillow.
I'm gonna wait 1,000 years for this pillow.
For one to give to you, and she
I
just
told him about you.
You know, she liked it so much that she kept the next one too.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Thank you.
You know we'll be right.
I know, of course. God bless you, and have a great day today. It's a beautiful day in DC, and we're hitting that time. We have a couple minutes. Hi, how are you?
You.
Are you a supporter of mail-in ballots?
I'm a supporter of fair ballots wherever they are. I'm an independent, and you are who?
Mike Lindell.
Mike Lindell. Okay, I've seen
Have you ever seen the pillow commercials, the fluffiest, most luxurious?
you're a supporter of the team. It's all good, and
Supporter of also getting rid of the electronic voting machines and having the most secure elections in the world. That's what we need.
well, again, so a bottom line is everybody wants secure elections. Everybody should have secure elections. And sometimes I think political operatives want to make it look like one side is doing more than the other. I'm an independent.
Right.
And the thing is, the issue is that, again, a lot of people play political football with something that should not be being played political football with.
Right. Elections are the most important thing.
Elections are the most important thing, but more important than that is people that take on the position must have an alliance to the Constitution. And that's not looking like it's doing it so well right now.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, see, I totally disagree. And when I disagree there, you're taking everything out and siloing it out and saying this is a problem for all people. and the problem solution and what it manifests to. So what I've said before, when you have politicians in the past, I was a crack cocaine. I never was political. Okay, I was not political. Then I got
Congratulations. This is a recovery story.
right. So anyway, when I got involved, I had to learn what a Democrat was, what a Republican was, liberal, conservative. But I didn't know one thing. I seen politicians back then doing things that didn't help people. I mean, all people. I don't care who you are, what you are. It didn't help anybody. And if that's the case, there's a different agenda. It's a hidden agenda, okay? And it's an evil agenda. Now, what I see for this president, who's also a friend of mine, but if I see he's like a businessman, takes a problem and he doesn't forget anything. He'll put a problem, what's the solution, and what will it manifest to help all people? The problem is we haven't had these things done by any politician ever, because he's breaking through the establishment, the uniparty that we were just talking to down there. You have corrupt people on both sides in politics. It's horrible. And I've learned this. I've lived it for 4.5 years, digging into our elections in that platform and going, why are these Republicans blocking us, securing our election? Why are they blocking us? I've had people, both sides cheated. But then I see our president here. He sees he's got a gift from God, problem solution, and knows what it'll manifest to. At the time, people look at it, they go, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. You live in D.C.?
I live in D.C. I'm from Philadelphia originally. I've been here for 40 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Your own mayor here said just a week and a half ago, hey, this order to get rid of crime here in D.C., she said this on TV. She said it's working. She said this. Your mayor agreed. Hey, it's working. Now I've been coming here for every month since he's been in office, and I walk down the streets. And I feel a little bit safer now than I did a couple months ago.
That's your buddy, and I've been here for 40 years. This place is the safest place in the world. Number one, all the high schools come down to Washington D.C. and the notion you're
I've been to every single city in the country.
Let me finish, Mike. Mike, that's your buddy, and I got that, and I understand that. But Mike, what he said was this: in 3 days, he solved the problem. There was no problem from the get. I'm from Philadelphia.
Why is your mayor saying there was a problem?
There are problems. No, there are problems all over the place. Why is he not sending police down to New Orleans?
Oh, I think he will.
When? No. The first place that he sent him.
No.
Understand? The first place that he sent is Washington D.C. He sent people to Los Angeles. He's talking about sending people to Chicago. Right. They're all black mayors. That's a very interesting.
No. You know where I spent my time in Chicago for the D.C. convention? In the heart of Chicago. See, I've been to most hoods in Minneapolis. Okay. I've been to most hoods in the United States. Okay. I've been the worst place you've ever seen in this country. In Chicago, when I went there, that's last summer at the D.C. convention, I was down there with all my black friends, all of them, and all of them were very upset with the mayor of Chicago and stuff, letting all the illegals in, taking their resources of addiction. See, I help people in addiction, helping people, their addiction resources were all taken, all their jobs were taken, and all the stuff. There was a big problem. These are people here illegally in the United States, and not the illegals that were put in there that Chicago let run rampant. So there's a big problem there, and I'm talking to the people. Now, it does have nothing to do with what color the mayor is. I didn't even know what you told me. It's a black mayor or not. Yeah. I'm from Minneapolis. I got one of the worst mayors in the world. He's a white mayor. And you know that all my black friends down there, they've all lost their business because they let them burn them down in the summer of 2020. Remember all the businesses got burned down? All of them had come out of addiction, dealing drugs. We had all come out of that, and all their business got burned to the ground because that mayor said, burn down the precinct, and they let them all burn down without bringing in help. You know, so there's two sides to the story.
You're saying that the mayor of Minneapolis incited.
No, he let it go.
No. You said he incited. He said, "Come bring them in." This is what you just said, Mike.
He did say he pulled them off of the precinct and let the precinct burn. I lived it. Okay. I lived it, man. He was part. Are you an accomplice if you just let him burn down your precinct? He ordered the police force to leave the precinct and let them all just tear it down to the ground. That's a fact.
Okay, and I'll have to take on your word.
No, that's fact.
I'll take it on the word. But this is the most peaceful city in the world. You can't get any peaceful than this.
Then what-
What part do you live in? I'm just
I
curious.
live in Northwest. I live right up the street. I live right up the street from the Capitol. I ride down. I'm coming down to check
You
this.
live towards
Well,
the outskirts, though, where
Anacostia or Deanwood?
again, I oversee a mentors in medicine program. We took pre-med and med students over to those schools where they encourage those students to consider healthcare and medicine as a career. So I've been in all those. I've been in all those areas. So again,
at night. I've been in them at night. Been in them at night.
Mike, do you want
Maybe I should walk
to?
up there.
Mike,
I should go together.
They don't like my pillows. Maybe they don't like my pillows.
this is a standing invitation from Mike and Bernard Oliver to go down to Southeast
Okay.
Washington this evening.
got it.
Mike,
God
it's been a
bless you.
pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
And good luck with your business. And I know that's your guy. And the issue is this: we have to make sure that we maintain a democracy, not an authoritative government.
No, you got that. Well, you know what? I felt just the
who's
opposite.
your buddy?
This last administration, do you know I was one of the most attacked people in the world and my pillow because I wanted to get rid of the electronic voting machines. Had nothing to do with him. I spoke out. My business was destroyed. Right now, the Attorney General of Minnesota is going after my Lindale Recovery Network that helps addicts get them to Jesus. That's where I'm at right now. I lived it. The government attacked me in this last administration, not because of him, because I wanted to get rid of their cheating devices for all people, Democrats and Republicans. I work mostly with the.
What support have you done for Democrats? Tell me.
What support in Kansas? Okay,
I'm an independent.
Let me
What
tell you.
supports have
Here's
you
what I've done.
provided for
Okay,
Democrats?
since I got out of addiction in January 16th of 2009, I did more things for the inner cities in Detroit, Minneapolis. I gave millions of dollars to Teen Challenge, Salvation Army, Salvation Army, Union Gospel, Salvation Army, all the people in the inner cities I worked with. I worked with Ben Carson, with Democrat in all these cities.
Carson is
I
Republican.
know he's Republican.
Wait a minute. He's a medical. He's a surgeon.
Yeah.
Your guy put him in charge of the earth. Wait a minute. Again, this is wait a minute.
Because
I
he came
oversee a
from there.
mentor center.
Because he came from there. That's where Ben came from. Have you read his story? He came from that. You know, all I'm saying is, you want to know what I've done for and the Democrats. Now, let me tell you. I've worked with the Democrats in these election platforms. For example, in the state of Kansas, all of the electronic poll books in 2022 were flipping from Democrat to Republican. Their votes right in front of them. In Georgia, this nice lady and her husband, three Democrats, she got 0 votes in her own precinct. It doesn't matter to me, the party. I want to secure our
I
election.
got 0 votes in some other area. I'm from a Howard alumni too.
Right.
And so, again,
You agree we need secure elections. I don't care what party you're
he
in.
does. But the issue is how do you do this? You don't do that by gerrymandering. You do not do that.
You do it by getting rid of.
Atlanta and saying I need 11,000 votes. You don't call down Texas and say give me 5 seats.
No, see, you're wrong on the thing to crooked Rassenberger, that Georgia call. Those votes there, they were right in front of him. Where all these people that voted in Georgia that did not live there.
11,000 votes.
No, he said, find them. I'm looking at them right here. Find them. And what this list. Now, let me tell you, that list the president was looking at.
Thanks for the insight.
The president was looking at a list. They came from crooked Rassenberger, who's a Republican. The list came from his office. This is what it said. There was 8,462 people that voted in Georgia that didn't live there. Okay. There was 3,000 some that were over 110 years old. There was all these lists there, and he's going, well, how do you explain this? And then Rassenberger didn't say anything. Well, just find me 11,000 here. You guys, there's like 50,000 votes there he couldn't explain. And then you know what Rassenberger said? The Secretary of State said to the president on that call, said, those are the wrong numbers. And the president said, well, where'd we get them from? And his lawyer said, well, sure, we got them from Rassenberger. And he goes, and that was so Rassenberger, well, I believe was in on this, for one of the biggest criminals this country faced, which is a Republican, by the way. And I've been fighting. If you watch my show, I go after the Republicans more than anything. You start following me.
We had this conversation. We're going to.
You start
appreciate
following.
that, and thank you.
LindellTV.com, and you'll see this. It was live right now, so you can rewind.
Because he's giving me some information. And again,
And I'm telling you, those are the truth. I was never a Republican or a Democrat. Right now, I consider myself. And you know what? I'm a Christian. That's where I'm. God's that's who I point to first.
Christians are supposed to be our brother's keeper.
That's right.
We do not move our people out of the street and not into any place. And so I hear a lot of people talking about owning the libs, and it's amazing when people talk to me, they don't know that I'm independent. I'm a business school
It wouldn't matter
graduate.
if you're a Democrat. I talk to everybody.
Exactly. You see where I'm
I
at?
don't have any bodyguards running around me. I just
No Secret Service here.
She did offer yesterday.
Keep them away from you. Mike, it's been a pleasure.
Go follow Lindell TV, and you can go online right now. And this interview's up right now. It's live. God bless you. And read.
God bless you.
Keep up the work that you do. I have friends that go out up in Philadelphia and pick people out of the street, out of the slum.
I've been doing that in Philadelphia. I went to Philadelphia so many times in my life because I used to be on QVC before they canceled me. You realize all my work, they've canceled me. They've destroyed my company, all because I want to get rid of the voting machines and get their.
Joe Bishop is up in Philadelphia. And
I know Jeff Pastor.
he went to school with me. And then I have a nephew that gets people out of crack. And the thing is, people like yourself who have had the experience are the best people to pull people out.
To do it. God bless you.
Appreciate you.
God bless you. Nice to meet you. You too. Thank you. So that was interesting. Mike is talking to all these people and sort of winning them over, at least in the heart.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why if I run for Minnesota governor, I'll have to win them over one at a time. Give them one. I'll give them a copy of my book. You know, this is smart.
I think we had a productive conversation with a lot of people today, and you're great talking to people, Mike.
Well, thanks. This is what
Next is-
before all this before all this political stuff and getting rid of the machine. That's what I did on the streets. When he talked about what have you ever done for, I roamed the streets getting people off crack cocaine just like I did, and worked with Salvation Army, Teen Challenge, Union Gospel, all these places because it's horrific and addiction and that's why people can go to LindellRecoveryNetwork.org, everybody. That's LindellRecoveryNetwork.org. Right now, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, is come after. It's a C3. If you want to go help out there, you can, because we're going to need lawyers to lawyer up against that absolutely evil thing he's doing to this recovery network that gets people off addiction and gets them to Jesus Christ.
All right, and I think this was a good warm-up for your meeting with the president.
Right on.
Right on. All right. So stay tuned for more of Allison Steinberg on DC Live right after this break.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including Lindell TV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Lindell TV. You are watching DC Live, and my name is Allison Steinberg. It has been a very busy, very momentous day here on Capitol Hill. So much going on as Congress finally resumes after their rather lengthy August break, but things are back and they are heating up. Congress is wasting no time on a number of issues, but today the primary focus is really having to do with the ongoing Epstein files release. Today there was a big, massive press conference right outside at the Capitol where the victims of Jeffrey Epstein showed up and spoke and told their story, many of them for the first time ever breaking their silence, out of fear for their own lives. Many of them have refrained from telling their stories for years and years, decades, because they have been scared to speak up, knowing that there is this giant, powerful cabal working against them. Many of them have been threatened, and their lives have been put on the line. So they are now banding together and coming forward, demanding the release of the Epstein files, which we were promised at one point by President Trump. And as we all know and have been reporting here on the network, the release of all of these files has been somewhat of a mess, starting with the binders and the influencers at the White House. Phase 1, never a phase 2 to be found. Misleading information from figures like Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, case was closed, then it wasn't. So there's been a lot of oddities surrounding the Epstein files, but we are here today to cover what's going on. Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna are joining together to try to get some bipartisan legislation passed. So let's go back and rewind just a little so you have some history here. Just last night, an oversight committee released over 33,000 pages of Epstein records. Among the documents in this release is a Bureau of Prison suicide risk assessment dated August 1st, 2019. This was just 9 days before Epstein's death. The assessment in these files concluded that Epstein did not appear to be a danger to himself. Suicide watch was not warranted at the time. But going on from there, the latest release raises further questions about what actually happened inside the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in the days leading up to Epstein's death, of course, right? So there's still so many unanswered questions. Again, this was released from the 33,000 plus pages that were published last night by that oversight committee. Now, like I said, moving forward to today, Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie have both sponsored this legislation that would ultimately force the House floor by way of a discharge petition to release all of the Epstein files. They currently need a total of 218 representatives to sign on to this to force a full House vote requiring the Department of Justice to release all the files. As of now, this bill has the full support of every single Democrat member of Congress, and only 4 Republicans have expressed support of this legislation. Those 4 members are, of course, Thomas Massie, as I just mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and Congresswoman Nancy Mace. So 4 members of Congress that are on the Republican end of this are in support of releasing the Epstein files in their entirety. Right now, 2 more Republicans are needed to come forward in support of this legislation that would ultimately be binding and force the Trump administration and his DOJ to comply and put forward all of the Epstein files. So it is critical at this point that we get 2 more Republicans to come forward and support this legislation so that this will force the release of the files. Now, I did talk to some members of Congress today. I actually had the opportunity to ask Thomas Massie why he thinks it is that there's such hesitation from Republican members of Congress to come forward with this. He gave me an interesting answer, which we will play for you in just a moment. But I also wanted to touch on the fact that I had the chance to listen to all of the victims speak and share their story. Like I said, many of them for the first time ever who have stayed in silence over fear of their lives, over fear of their families' lives. And it was heartbreaking to hear these stories, being a young girl and myself in Los Angeles, where I moved when I was just 18 years old. And I, saw a lot of this disgusting corruption that goes on. But what I saw didn't even scratch the surface of what these women have been through. It's just devastating and heartbreaking to hear some of their stories. So if you didn't listen to that, I encourage you all to go back and listen to them share. But one thing I wanted to point out is that many of them had the same message. And that message was that, listen, to Congress, to the Trump administration, this is not a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue. This is about mental and physical abuse, and they are demanding justice. And that looks like, that means to them all of the people that were complicit in this are held accountable, and this is made public to the American people so that there is honesty and transparency restored in government. They are so confused as to why they've had to stay silent for so long. They didn't get the opportunity to testify after the initial investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. All of these elites continue to be protected, but they have to suffer in silence, and that is no longer happening. They just want these corrupt criminals to be held accountable, and they're saying they're not going to be quiet until that happens. In fact, they're actually saying they're going to start compiling a list of their own amongst the victims and survivors of this, and do everything they can to now work towards exposing this to the fullest extent, since they can't seem to get the certain members of Congress to do that, or even, unfortunately, the Trump administration. So hopefully it's my prayer that this press conference today raises awareness, it puts the pressure on, it leads members of Congress and the DOJ to do the right thing in this case, and hopefully become a very unifying issue. And, oddly enough, I think this Jeffrey Epstein issue and all of these victims finally coming together and speaking out could be incredibly unifying. I think it's incredible that figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace were there, even though this has now become like a Democrat issue, because of course the Democrats are all about it just because they think it might implicate Trump. But it shouldn't matter who it implicates. It should just matter that we get to the root of the issue and we get the truth finally brought to light. So I applaud the Republican members of Congress that boldly stood up there today and spoke on this issue. Regardless, I think we all deserve answers. The American people deserve answers, and it's time for the truth to come out. So with that being said, we have some exclusive footage right here on Lindell TV with some of those members of Congress that were present at that press conference today, and a couple other interviews I had the opportunity to do while we were there. It was one of the busiest press conferences I've ever been to, and actually the members of Congress that were present said they've never seen a busier press conference. So this just goes to show how critical this issue is to the American people, to the victims, to any survivors of abuse and trafficking. This is critical. So with that, please enjoy this live exclusive footage from Lindell TV, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Take care.
Mr. Edwards, is there any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with or tied to the CIA or a foreign intelligence operation?
I think that the safe